Shall we move on to Q&A?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, they went on a Q&A frenzy. So this one's for me. Will tournaments in 2016 after UGC, such as Don't Park on the Grass, be considered for SSBM Ring 2017? Maybe. I mean, I made a mini announcement that I want to do quarterlies. The other quarters will be a lot smaller, of course. So for the spring quarter, I guess when I release the next one, it'll be top 25, and that'll definitely be put into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Park should be counted for the next period, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah. All right, this one's for you, Blur. I don't even know how this question's framed, but I'll just go with it. Can you talk about the problems that occurred that canceled the KOC that was supposed to happen this year? I think it would be great to know what problems can occur even when you're an established practice TO. Directed more at Blur unless TAFO also help with planning.
Who said KOC was supposed to happen this year?
Didn't you kind of joke around with it earlier?
I mean, yeah, that does not mean it was necessarily going to happen. I'm very busy.
I mean, we got Blood for Blood, which is like KOC light.
I suppose so, yeah. But, yeah, bro, I don't know where that assumption comes from. I mean, I'm always trying to do big things, and KOC would be dope, but getting it off the ground is tough because I don't really have time to do it.
I'm currently writing some code to compile tournament results and player stats from challenge. I can currently have an average placing stat, but I think some form of weighted average would be more suitable. Do you use some sort of weighting to average tournament placements, or do you have suggestions? So just FYI, tournament placings for a double elimination tournament are only accurate to like the top two or like the first place, right? Anything else, because it's double elimination, will not give you good results. If you want to go for a system that goes on placements, use the tennis thing that Practical TAS is using. All right.
So people in the chat are linking a tweet from someone from UW. Let me see. Oh, it's kind of sad Dome Parkins isn't being counted because it was moved for December, so Blur could do the KOC 5. That is sort of true. Dome Park was originally supposed to be in November, and then I paid the TO to move his date because I was planning to do another event during that week. I thought there was going to be another event that would potentially take that weekend, and I want to make sure he didn't get double booked on. So I said, you know what, just to keep it safe for you, I'll pay for your move. So I paid the difference. So. They still did really well, so I'm not really sure it worked out badly for them at all.
They do get negative kudo points for breaching trust potentially. So
that is negative kudo points. But yeah, there's a lot of assumptions in that post. The point is that nothing happened, so chill out.
Does Mango have a single argument over Armada as GOAT, other than titles? Finding it harder to justify him as GOAT when Armada exists. I mean, I think you and I both put Armada as #1 right now on like careers and legacies, right?
Yeah.
If I guess if we ever played devil's advocate, I mean, Mango's been a top player for 2 years longer. I guess one piece you could do if we're to play devil's advocate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to go too deep into this because we can easily go down a rabbit's hole, but Blur and I both agree that Armada is #1 right now. Can you tell us about why Mutaking and Ken disliked each other so much?
Ken? Mutaking always just felt like Ken never respected his skill. After Ken got good, Mutaking discredited him a lot. And things like that. So.
I think the breaking point for from Mutaking's perspective, and this is Smashboard, so it's pretty open, is that PC Chris, won New York, and I think Mutaking in a passing conversation told Ken to like use counter more, and Ken ended up using counter a lot to win Dallas. And from Ken's perspective, Ken was like, I was planning to use it anyway, but Mutaking felt like he told Ken to use that, and therefore Ken used it. And because Ken gave Muta King 0 credit for that statement, Muta King felt very slighted, and from there it kind of fractured. Right?
Right. That's not. I don't know if it was just that, but yeah.
I mean, there were probably other things, but I think that was probably one of the tipping point moments.
Yeah.
What does Arm2 King have to do to be considered the GOAT doubles team? Are Ken and Isaiah basically untouchable?
Yes. They're very, very far from touching Ken Isaiah. Ken Isaiah literally won everything and have single-digit number of losses in their whole career.
If like Arm2 King literally won for like 4 years in a like 3 years in a row,
they actually need like 3 more years of winning,
yeah.
and they're not competing with each other very often, or often enough to do that. So, yeah, no, Ken Isaiah by a long shot.
How would you see DJ, Dreffin, Cyrox, Slock, Smash God, Kells at Eden?
DJ, what? Say it again.
DJ, Dreffin, Cyrox, Slock, Smash God, Kells. I think Kells is the best out of all of them.
I almost have to write this down. Kells sounds like the best. Who's the second best?
Probably DJ.
Let's keep going.
And then
I'll see if I disagree with you. Just do your list.
I'd probably put Dreffin last.
Under Cyrox? Why?
Cyrox beat Gatsu recently.
Is that all he's done his whole career? Has he done anything?
He's taking a lot of games off of different players.
Yeah, no, he's not under nothing, dude.
What has Dreffin done lately?
Dreffin beat Hugs.
Wasn't that an era where everybody beat Hugs?
Yeah, 2016.
Okay, fine. We'll put Cyrox, Dreffin second to last, and then I guess I'd put Slox and Smash God, unless you disagree with that.
I disagree with DJ Slox, I think.
Okay, that's fair. I think those are...
Those are really close. I think I actually put Slox above DJ. Yeah.
Okay. DJ's lost a lot of random people.
Yeah. So, our list is Kells, Slox, DJ. What's the fourth one?
Are we putting Smash God at fourth?
Smash God.
Dreffin, Cyrox.
Dreffin, Cyrox, yes.
Is none the best Falcon against Fox? Can you argue him in the top 15 to 20? I don't think he's the best against Fox. What's his resume against Fox?
I forgot that whole question. What
is none the best Falcon against Fox?
No. SGJ is.
Argue him in the 15 or 20. I think a lot of people put him in like 18 to 22. So.
Yeah. People are saying, "Oh, but Gatsu is better than Hugs" in the chat, and I'm like, I agree with you, but Dreffin's been a top player for 10 years.
That's fair.
Cyrox has got 1 win his whole career. You think that's better than Dreffin? Are you serious right now? Like, it doesn't make any sense. He has to do a little bit more to be seated above Dreffin. That's all I'm saying.
Assuming we can't reuse players, which is pretty interesting. What are your top 5 doubles teams of all time? So Ken and Isaiah number 1.
Ken and Isaiah number 1. Armada Meeting number 2. Mango Lucky number 3. 4 is PewFat. No, PewFat actually probably has a better legacy than Mango Lucky already.
Didn't Mango not Lucky not lose? Like have a long streak?
They did, but it wasn't long enough. And they sandbagged a lot and blah blah blah. So I'm gonna go with Armada Meeting 2, 3, PewFat 4, Mango Lucky 5.
$100 club.
Actually, we already got As and Chillin'.
Was As and Chillin' really that good?
Yeah, they got second everything. They won a couple things. Yeah, they won New York playoffs.
Yeah, but like look at PewFat.
They won a bunch of other stuff too. Yeah, they were good. They were definitely good.
Is that better than PewFat stuff?
At this point, I think PewFat's only been good for like a year and a half. Like they've only been PewFat has a good long tail of being like a top 10 team. Like they were making top 8s for a long time, right, in teams, but not that long, right? Like
I think it's been pretty long at this point. Let me.
So like they had 3 years of being a high level team, and now they've had like a year and a half of being like arguably best team, like top 2 or 3 team.
Yeah.
Um, so that's pretty good. As in, chillin' were that for like 5 years.
Was it 5 years?
No, not really. You're right. Yeah, I think PFES have more probably by now. At this point, they just won UGC. That was really good. And Big House was a humongous with the way they did it, right? Like they have some really they won Evo. Like
Evo 2015 was a big win.
PFES definitely higher. I think. So I think 4 is as in chillin', 5 is Mango.
Okay, I can agree with that.
You agree with this?
Well, actually, does Hungry Plup have any arguments for anything?
No, they don't.
Okay.
I think they're in the top 10 somewhere ish, just because they won the Apexes, for a little bit, but not total. No, absolutely not. They're not in the top 5.
All right. Let's see. Moving on with questions. Why does Meat King always seem to completely blow most of his counter picks against Hungry Bucks? In the sets he wins, he still blows them outside of Pokemon Stadium, but somehow looks great in his wins on Dreamland and Battlefield. Should Meat King start doing more runbacks on Battlefield, Dreamland, instead of stubbornly going FD? I guess it's an interesting question. Blur, being that you're the resident Marth main, I actually kind of want to extend this with my little anecdote. I think somebody mentioned to me, I have to double check, that King and Marth Peach does better on Dreamland than Battlefield.
That's still, look, that might be true, but as a Marth main, there's no world where I'm taking them to Dreamland. So, I don't care what anyone says. There's like how is Dreamland in any world better than Battlefield? Like
it might be a thing where King realizes that he has to play slow and steady.
But if your win rates, but still, like maybe his mentality's better there, whatever, like you're saying. But like Battlefield is just better for Mars. Like there's no advantage. Like he might have a higher win rate out of randomness, but I still think he has a higher chance of winning on Battlefield because Battlefield is just better for Marth. Like it's like obviously better.
Okay, that's fair.
You agree, right? Like, can you even name one thing that Dreamland does better for Marth than Battlefield?
I think if you're playing the Dash Dance game, the angles of approach from platforms are not there because you don't have to interact. Whereas, let's say you're at those 2 side platforms and you're towards like closer to the center stage than your opponent is, like Marth's in the corner. You kind of have to interact to get out of that corner more so than you'd have to on Dreamland.
No, Battlefield's still big enough.
That's like the only reason. I'm grasping at straws.
You can say top platform stuff, but Peach, like I know Armand did it the last stock, but like I'm not worried about Peach top platform, right? Like, so I don't think Battlefield top platform is anything I'm worried about against Peach, in general, right? So I don't see it. Like maybe you could say it allows Peach to have better escape paths. Blah blah blah, because the top platform higher and they're longer, so she's able to use that a little bit better. I don't know. It seems super flimsy. I think Dreamland's just a worse stage for Mars.
Yeah.
She dies at 290. Like, dude, come on, go to Battlefield instead.
Remember that one time at Big House where King up threw him and he didn't die like 220, and then that basically tilted.
That's it would tilt me too.
Yeah, I would be so mad. Okay. Tafo, I'm running out of ideas for smaller content after Ultimate SSBM rank and the upcoming 2002 to 2003 articles. What would you want to see BC covered in Smash history that you are unsure about?
That's a question to you, right? Go ahead.
Research the Mexican scene in 06 while MLG Vegas was happening.
A speculative article on the Mexican scene, that'd be dope. I think Japanese Smash history would also be dope. In general, more international articles. I also think more teams history articles and more team storyline articles would be good. I think a lot of people still don't understand. Like when we said can Isaiah win everything? Like the fact that someone asked the question, are they, is can Muti Armada overtake Ken Isaiah? Makes me think that people don't understand how badly Ken Isaiah went for that long, for how long.
West Coast versus East Coast crew battles histories. Bam.
Oh, that's good. Crew battle histories. That's a good one.
All right, that should keep him busy till next week.
NorCal, SoCal crew battle histories. Yeah, there's a lot there.
Trash talking with respect to region rivalry. What happened to Toph in 2016? I still think he's really good, but I'm not sure he could be argued as top 100 anymore. I think he's still good, just hasn't performed at nationals, and sometimes it just happens.
He's all right, man.
I think he's good.
Yeah.
What makes Mew King so great in doubles? Is he the doubles GOAT by far?
So that's a more interesting question.
That is actually a hard question to answer.
Because as a combo, like, so people asked earlier in the chat, where's Mew King J-Man on this list? What about Mew King Hacks? What about Mew King H-Box? What about Mew King blah, blah, blah? You know, like, but if you separate it to individuals, Mew King's team's resume is a lot better. Because he's just switched partners in his career a lot. It's hard for me to say that Ken or Isaiah isn't still number one, legacy-wise.
So, maybe I can...
I want to say Mew King might be number one, though.
So, I guess if you want to kind of talk about what are some attributes of Mew King, is that Mew King... Okay, so there are certain things that are really valuable about Mew King. If Mew King needs to fight a 1v2, he has ways to not get hit at all. Like, he could literally go to the corner by himself in a 1v2, and he will not get damaged. That's a really valuable trait, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he can just escape the situation, and the other team is not going to do anything to contest it, like 9 times out of 10. So that's important. Number 2, in many scenarios where if he's actually interacting, he knows how to get his team out of rough situations. So if his Fox partner or Armada is in trouble, like, Mew King knows how to get out of situations. You can leave Mew King in 1v1s, and you don't have to worry about him. So if Mew King's partner is better than the other team's partner, Mew King can hold his own and stop the other guy while his partner just wrecks the other team. Mew King in the corner, the fact that he's in the corner, he can easily give his team like a third of the space on a stage just for the fact that he's on ledge and the other team is so scared to do anything against him. And if he isn't on ledge, like, and he somehow gets an interaction where the other team is stupid enough to actually do something, then he can just like back throw kill him. And that's a really good trait to have, where he just back throws Falcon, kills him. Oh, Fox is firefoxing? I'm just gonna kill him. Like, with other Sheiks, you don't think, oh, yeah, that Fox is probably going to come back. When Mew King's in that edge guard position, you're like, oh, crap, that Fox is probably dead. And so, like, those things are, like, sound really basic, but the fact that Mew King nails them so consistently is what makes him good. You don't think Shroom's going to land that edge guard. You don't think Pleb's going to land that edge guard. But when Mew King sees Firefox or anybody off stage that is not, like, a floaty, like, he's killing them. So, I don't know.
Kids.
Sorry, that was a long rant.
He's pretty good.
I mentioned this in the Illuminati, but don't Mike Hayes and Lucky suddenly look a hell of a lot closer after UGC Smash Open? How would you rank these Fox players? Pro, Colville, Fox, Drug Fox, Mike Hayes, Lucky.
Pro, Colville, like, are you saying for the whole year or currently?
It looks like they said after Smash Open, so we'll just say right now.
Oh, right now. Yeah. Okay. Well, Lucky can't even play, so he's dead last. Highest on this list is probably Colville.
Cole's been awful lately, though.
He has been awful lately.
Why is he C6? Phil?
You know, not great losses. Okay. So you're saying Prof is highest on this list?
He might be.
Well, let's just say it's Prof, Cobalt, Mike Hayes.
I think it's Prof Drug Fox.
Oh, Drug Fox is on this list. Sorry. Whoa, yeah, Drug Fox over Kobo.
What has Coble really done?
Just because he's been bad for like 2 months doesn't mean he's not.
What has Coble done this year?
Bro. I don't remember off the top of my head.
The fact that you don't know what he did on the top of your head is kind of scary.
It's true, he hasn't done very much. He did good at SmashCon, right?
Did he? He lost to ESAM, right?
Ooh. I think I was thinking of last SmashCon. and then okay, he did do good at SmashCon.
I mean, he got 9th still, for what it's worth.
Someone in chat tell me what Cobalt has done this year. Someone in chat, please tell us what Cobalt has done. He's 3-3 versus Swedish this year.
Wait, no, Coble didn't lose to ESAM. He almost lost to ESAM. He should have lost to ESAM.
Alright. Well, he did lose ESAM. So you guys telling me Cobalt did nothing this year? Is that what the chat's telling me?
I mean, he's good for beating Ice Climbers and Samus.
And he wants past record?
He's good for beating Samus and Ice Climbers.
Alright, so basically you're saying 1 is Prof, 2 is Drug Fox, 3 is Cobalt? Or, wait, is Mike Hayes above Cobalt based on what you guys are saying?
If we're gonna go by like ultra recency bias, not looking at the entire year, I mean, can't you argue Mike over Coble? I mean, I guess like Coble is what, like 18-56 against Plup, if you want to evaluate that.
Cobalt won Fight Pit. And he beat Axe at Frame 1. And beat Hugs and Duck. One of those is very good. And he took some sets off Swedish.
Yeah, but Fight Pit was like back in May.
13th at Evo, 9th at What the Fox. 9th at Genesis. And won Fight Pit.
Can we talk about his low points?
Mike Hayes won an SSS. He beat Mango. He beat Lucky. Did a bunch of other stuff.
Like I said, Coble's good for fun. I mean, it's so bracket dependent. Coble's good for being Ices and Samus.
Are you currently arguing for Mike Hayes above Cobalt?
If we're talking about like the last like 3 to 4 months, what has Coble really done? I mean, I'd still give Coble the year over Mike easily.
But obviously, Cobalt gets the year. But all right, Mike Hayes above Cobalt. Fuck it. Cobalt, I agree, hasn't done anything in the last 3 months.
I will tell you this: if you combine Coble with a fox that can actually fight species, that'd be a scary fox to play. Because Coble is like the anti-fox in terms of matchups. Coble likes all the matchups that every other fox seems to hate.
Sure. I mean, that's what his Mark's going to be for. Maybe, someday. Alright, so the list is Professor Pro, Drug Fox, Mike Hayes, Cobalt, Lucky, because Lucky is incapacitated. Yes?
Yeah.
Well, that's because we're doing recency AF bias with Mike Hayes Cobalt.
Alright. Planet Express asks, why don't you turn the SSBM rank into something objective? My response is, do you like Ladandis at number 17?
Talk about Glico?
Yeah.
Damn. I gotta go on Glico like that.
Alright. Where does Ken's losers run at Game Over rank for all-time losers run?
pretty good. Also chilling really early, and then he beat everybody real bad. So up there, really high up there.
All right. Have you ever considered only having certain events in the year count towards the end of the year ranking? You could say before a tournament if it would count for rankings. This would remove the problem of evaluating local wins and losses and maybe put less stress on players at locals. That's why I leave it up to the interpretation of the panelists to see like how much they want to evaluate local results, right? Because if you get rid of the local results, then you lose a lot of the local interactions, and you don't. And what becomes an issue is that let's say you're a player that gets 33rd, 49th, 65th, or 97th at nationals. Well, then you really only get like one data point every 2 months against a top 100 player without the locals. So that's the issue you get. What's going to happen to Mango's Falco, man? Honestly, outside of against Sheik and maybe Muta King Leffen, it's so hard for me to envision his Falco having a place for him when his Fox could easily just do the job, or even in practice Marth would look better.
You're underrating Falco, man.
To be honest, whether he played Falco or Fox in those sets he lost, I think he would have lost harder if he played Fox.
Probably, yeah. He was just playing like garbage.
Yeah. So that's it. I mean, I don't think Falco was the root cause. Where is my case over Mango rank for all-time upsets? Is it as big as homemade waffles over Plup?
It is not as big technically, and it is not as big as like R2 Delu versus Axe, for example. But it's pretty substantial.
I mean, it's a big upset, but like, let's not be hyperbolic about it.
Yeah, mine's like a, you could rank him somewhere between 30 to 40, right?
You can put him as high as like 28.
You can go crazy and put him as high as 28, and if you do, then it's barely as good as like non-Mutakin. And that's in a worse matchup, right? So.
Let's see. So not that big. How big is the disparity between you and Blur and Player Skill? I guess we should clarify and ask if that's Prime Blur.
Big difference. If it's Prime Blur, I'm better than him. If it's current Blur, Tao's probably a lot better than me right now. I haven't touched a controller in like a very long time. I played probably less than 5 hours of Melee this year. That's not true.
That's such a lie, man. There's
less than 10 hours.
We literally played like 5 hours at CEO.
Well, that's like half my hours. When did we play 5 hours at CEO?
Dude, we played at night for like 3 hours one of the nights.
Okay, well, I played less than 10 hours. 10, less than 10 or 15. I played a lot
That's
of
such a
Smash
lie.
Record.
That's such a lie.
I played a lot of Smash the Record. I played overnight at Pound. I played some at CEO. And the rest I barely played. So I say less than 15 hours. The whole year. It's very little.
The more I think about PPMD coming back, the more I'm scared that he's going to get wobbled to death a million times by this kid Boogie in top 32. And they both played at G4. Whom would you favor?
I didn't hear the question.
Who would win between PP and this kid Boogie?
Right now?
Yeah.
Wobblins is really good against Rust, man. I don't want to say it.
I don't know who I would. If I bet on PP and I saw the set happen, I would be so nervous. Wouldn't you? I would be so nervous watching it the whole time. Wouldn't you be? Like, let's say you bet $1,000 on PP. You wouldn't feel. Would you feel? I would feel really uncomfortable. All right.
Feel very uncomfortable. I think that is.
I would bet $1,000 on PP to support my boy. I would be very nervous the whole time. Let's just put it that way.
He'd be rough. How about you? How about you give me PPF for 3 months?
Ooh, that would
Then
be
I'm
good.
taking. Then I'm taking him. But if it's like his first tournament back, yeah, it's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah. I would bet $1,000 on PP. I would be scared for my life the whole way through. What's going on with Axe? Sad face. I know he beat Leffen a bunch and still has more great wins, Mango and Muta King, if I recall correctly. But his bad losses are piling up, and his awful record versus players around his tier make it tough to be an Axe fan as of late.
Yeah, it's definitely a step back here. I don't think it's an Iowa at this point. Like, he's probably going to finish still in the top 10-ish, but he's used to being closer to 6 or 7, right? So
he's closer to 6 or 7 than he's closer to 12, 11 through 13 than he is 7 this year. We'll say that much.
Sorta, I guess. He started the year a lot better than he ended it.
I mean, he started well with Genesis. And I think people forget, this is like the law of expectations, is that if you had a player that got Axe's results, you'd be like, oh my gosh, this guy is clearly a 10 player, top 10 player. But because the expectations are so high on Axe, we ignored all the things that he has done this year, too.
Yeah, let me tell you something. If Vladimir came back out of retirement and performed like Axe this year, people would have put him in the top 10.
Yeah.
Automatically. Just because that's how people work. Well, he's still performing really well. He just has a few bad losses here and there. His second half of the year was really shaky. He needs to stop messing around with the secondaries, or truly dedicate to one. But throwing away games against Dragon Fox with Mars was really silly. And he's been throwing away games with his other secondaries like Falco all the time. I think he's trying to find solutions, but his secondaries aren't there yet, or he needs to pick one. I honestly think Pikachu can just do it. But he's been really stubborn, and he hasn't changed his playstyle in a very long time.
Yeah. Why does Espec continuously get sunned by Muta King despite beating him once at G3? I mean, is losing a game 5 really getting sunned though?
Yeah, that was close.
How many game 5s? I'm gonna actually look this up.
Last I checked, Meeting's a god.
This was like in the last set went to like game 5 last stock. Okay, UGC went to game 5. Big House went to game 5. Ooh, those shine sets were disgusting. SmashCon went to game 5. Clutch City Smash went to game 5. A lot of game 5s. I wouldn't really call it sun. There were some 3-0s here and there. Smash and Splash. 3-0.
Yeah, that's capable, but I mean, Meeting is a monster against Fox, bro.
How many people beat Muta King and Fox Marth?
Did you see what getting sunned is? What Ice got? What happened to Ice in UTC? That's what getting sunned is. That's not getting sunned. He's just losing. It happens, man.
Yeah, so it's pretty one-sided, admittedly, but getting to game 5 is not sunned.
Sure.
Is mid-late 2015 Armada the most relatively dominant stretch of play ever? It's not long. But when you take into account, he had 11 straight wins against God tier players. I don't see how this isn't unbelievable. 11-0, 11-0, 11-0 against gods. Sure, it's pretty good.
I don't know if it's the most relatively dominant player ever. That doesn't jive with me.
Can we think of something more dominant, though?
Yeah, I can.
No, it's talking about like... Oh, okay. I misread the question. I totally agree with you. This is hyperbole.
Yeah. How about?
Gosh, Edwin Budding, you like asked like 20 questions here. Oh, all right. Is Mango stretched from round 3 to round 2 without losing a tournament the biggest win streak in Melee history? Assuming we ignore sandbag and secondary sets. Just kind of crazy to think about. He went 8-0 or 9-0 against Muta King, the arguable world number 2 in the world.
What's the question? We all agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. I agree. Yeah, Mango, pretty good.
I think that's an interesting point to bring, right? Because people don't talk about that much when they talk about Mango. They're like, oh, like Mango's overrated. He's washed up, but like his reign of dominance was actually really good.
You have to realize that before Mango in 2013, he already had a really good legacy case. Now he wasn't like GOAT status until like Evo 2013, 14 ish. You know, that's when people started calling him GOAT. But yeah, he already had a really good case before that. All right, next question.
Of the number 7 through 13 range players, why are people sleeping on Axe and West? They both have 6 God wins, when the next highest is Swedish with 2 and Wizzy with 1. Who cares about their low placements? They're the only 2 that can consistently take sets of the gods. Once again, I think it's because the perception is that West and Axe are expected to perform that highly, and so those good things about them tend to get ignored. I fully agree with that sentiment.
Right. In general, it's funny. The trend has been through the way a lot of people have been analyzing it is they devalue legacy. They don't value it, which is really weird, right?
I think it's because we get excited.
Like when a West or Axe get top 8, you're like, oh, of course, that's what they should be doing. That's like par for the course. But when a Swedish or whatever gets top 8, it's like, oh my God, he made top 8, right?
Or like,
and so they value his accomplishment more, which is fine. It kind of makes sense. But then when you go into the year-end rankings, you don't just say that, oh, Swedish had a better year when they placed the same.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like Wizzy getting 4th at like a tournament where the drop off between Wizzy and the next best player is like 40 ranks. It's like, oh my gosh, Wizzy got 4th place. I'm like, no, well, he should be getting 4th place in that kind of bracket.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think Mew King playing Fox and teams helped him play better against HBox? Is this a viable strategy going forward?
Probably not. He always wins a few sets.
I mean, I think the big thing was that he wasn't lasering like an idiot, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, dude, Mew King always takes a few sets on HBox. The question is, can you ever have a winning record on the year against HBox? And I still don't think that's likely. I do realize that HBox was very disheartened after getting 3-0 comeback. He was really pissed too. He wanted to win that and get number 1 in the world. I think that had a very big factor to do with it.
I guess if you're a Mew King fan, then there is some promise from going 1-7 in 2015 to 3-8 in 2016. So if you want to take that with a grain of salt, like that's something you can cheer about. But on the flip side, that's still 3-8.
1-7 this year.
What was that?
He was 1-7 this year.
Last year, 3-8 this year.
Oh, that's better. That's progress.
It's progress, but still not good. It's like saying I went from an F to like a C-.
So maybe in like 4 years he'll end up being 50-50 with him.
I mean, in 2014 he was 6-7. That one stretch.
Yeah, actually, people forget that like during Big House 3 period, you know, the one event that Mew King won, he had like a decent. Like, it wasn't completely losing his whole career. Now, if you look at the full career record, it's really bad. HBox Mew King. It's probably the most lopsided God matchup at this point.
It's bad.
Is it though? Like, has Mango HBox normalized enough that?
Yeah, it has. So Hungrybox is like 35-16, I think.
So Hungrybox won 16 sets. Mango was won 35.
No. This is Hungrybox versus Mew King.
35-16. Okay, so Hungrybox won 35, Mew King won 16.
I may have missed 1 or 2 sets here, but let me count Mango versus Hungrybox. 21, 25, 26, 28, 33, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 35, and 18. I may be missing 1 or 2 sets here. So 35 and 18 for Mango and Hungrybox.
So 35-18 in Mango's favor.
Yeah.
So they're pretty equal still.
Yeah. Let's see.
So though it's now HBox is winning more, so it's kind of like both.
Yeah. Take this year out, it was extremely lopsided.
It's going the wrong direction with Mew King HBox. It's going the right direction with.
Yeah.
You know, it's fixing itself. By the way.
Blur, how did Smash history overrate Zoo? He won like 3 straight sets against Mew2 King, has great placings at Genesis, Pound 4, Apex 2010, and Winter Game Fest 6. If he isn't a top 20 player, where is he? I'm surprised you and Hugs, out of all people, would sleep on him.
It ranks him above Hacks. Doesn't make any sense. You agree? Right, Tapo?
Yeah, intuitively, I don't agree with that sentiment.
Can we skip Edwin Buddy questions?
Yeah.
He's like half the questions. You can't just spam the Ask FM, bro.
Thoughts on UGC counting as a super major if Gommel also counts as one?
Based on talent, you kind of have to.
They both had 5 of the big 6 too.
So based on talent, you kind of have to. That tournament was stacked. Yeah, I think you gotta have to.
Who are the best 5 Peaches after Armada for all time?
Who? Second best Peach all time is probably Court or Sastrifer.
You don't think Mac Diaz had a not long enough run?
No, his peak has just never been as high as those other guys. Next best is probably MacD and then DOH. We're talking all time. Maybe Zelik. Zelik had a really high.
Why is Sastifor ahead of MacD?
Because he got amazing placings. Do you not remember Sastrifer? Come on.
Was it really that amazing though for that long?
Just the MacD's peak ever was. Relatively.
I guess second at FC3 is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. MacD's never done anything like that. He got second at FC3, fourth at TG6, fourth at MLG Seattle, and a few 13 something. I was looking at the Smash Wiki article. Obviously, it doesn't cover everything, but
MacD's had a long stretch of like finishing 9th. Goes back to 2010.
I mean, I guess 04, 05 is just too like Sastrifer literally has a 2-year stretch, so maybe it's too short. You're saying MacD is the next, is number 2.
Who else? I mean, Court had that year where he was like debatably like 3 or 4, right?
What are you saying?
What was it? Court had that one year where it was like he was debatably anywhere from 3 to 5, right?
Yeah, but it was 08, so who cares?
So, but like Court really didn't do much other than that. His was only 2 years, right?
No, he kept playing for a while.
But he didn't enter much, did he?
Court went from like 06 to he was playing until like I want to say 2010-ish. So yeah, Court's got like a lot of top like 3s and top 4s. The thing, he got 4th at Super Champ combo, 4th Evo East, 9th Pound 2, 9th FC Diamond, 4th Pound 3, 2nd Fast 1. Was winning everything in New England for a while. 9th at ROM, 5th at SNES. Yeah, actually, it might still be MacD. I think it's probably MacD.
If their peaks was like
Actually,
top 2 in the world, or like for like 2 years, or like top 3 in the world for like 2 years, then I would probably give it to them. To Court.
What about Vidjo?
Vidjo was good.
Vidjo was really good.
And then we always had like the mystery of Mikhail, right?
You can talk about V-Wins.
V-Wins is good, but his reign wasn't very long.
Legacy sucks. His legacy's horrible. He doesn't put those.
Or longevity, right? Wasn't good. He didn't enter much, even when he was good. Like he didn't travel outside, like maybe like an Apex here and there.
Vidjo's legacy's pretty freaking good. From like 04 to 08, he was getting like 5th and 9th places all over the place. Yeah, 3rd at FC6. That's a really good. Fifth at FC Diamond. Seventh is Zero Challenge. Vidjo might have better legacy than Court does, actually.
It's an interesting question. I'll have to think about it more.
Pink Shinobi?
Shinobi's reign was what? Only 08 to 09.
Vans?
Vans, I think, has more of a case. His relevancy as a top player was longer, but his peak wasn't long.
Blade Wise? And
All right. What did Mewtwo King do so much better in the Martha than everyone else that made him so good at it?
he was good at it for a while, then now I don't think he's as good at it, actually.
I'd say it's
he
one
just,
of those. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You're the Marth nerd.
I think that he, first of all, he had a huge skill advantage over everybody. And it really showed. I think his punch game was a lot better than most Marths. And he understood that the core mechanics that he basically invented himself, and stage control stuff, like detailed by the edge and stuff. But overall, he plays the matchup really funky. Play against him, and you're like, this is not standard Marth stuff.
Yeah. I just feel like he knows a lot more about how situations play out than any other player, especially in 08, in 09, when up until 2012. I think he just knew so much more about the situations that no one really stood a chance against him, just by sheer game knowledge.
He has to play at a very high fundamental level to beat Mewtwo King's Marth and Ditto. And finally, people are getting to that point.
Yeah.
But he plays a lot of non-neutral, actually.
Yeah. Most janky spot dodge reads that will get him a grab and kill you somehow. It's like he's thinking at a Yomi level higher than you. It's ridiculous. Do you see Plebs Fox or Sheik beating Armada? Not in the next good while.
Not a little bit. That summon set was not very encouraging.
We should send MacD to Florida for a month.
I mean, eventually, someone's going to beat Armada, man. That's not a god. It's going to happen. It's hard. And I think the Sheik stuff has made it particularly hard. Armada's extraordinarily good against Sheik.
He is. Where would we recommend buying a new custom painted controller?
I don't know, man. Honestly, I haven't really looked into it. So, don't know.
You guys should buy a Melee It On Me custom controller from Controller Chaos. That's what you guys should do.
There you have it.
How will Jogo Guy do at Eden? 49th place.
33rd place. Have some faith.
Actually, you're probably right.
He'll get 33rd. He'll get a solid 33rd.
Okay. Interesting question that I just came up with. Who's getting farther? Fendrick Lamar or Jogo Guy?
I think they're getting the same placing, 33rd.
Okay. I can see that. Is the Genesis Cruise draft going to be hella advertised beforehand? Not trying to miss that draft for sure.
Yeah, I hope so. We're going to definitely have a show like last time and everything.
That was fun.
It was a lot of fun, right?
How big should matchup weaknesses, such as West Bowls with Sheik and Wizzy with Falco, factor into SSBM at the top level? I mean, it's part of the reason why a lot of these players can't make it far in bracket, right?
Almost entirely, yeah.
I mean, if you can't beat Pichu, that doesn't matter. But if there are matchups that are relevant enough that you have to run into the bracket, then yes, it does matter.
If SUJ was amazing in Sheik, I guarantee you he'd be ranked a lot higher.
Yeah, he would be. How many times has Plup shroomed Mewtwo King or Swedish ruined his run?
Yeah, it's like half of those events.
Or Pew Pew and Falcon or Pikachu.
Exactly. Like half of those events.
Should locals factor into SSBM rank?
Yes.
Yes. Rules question. Marth is getting wobbled on the Pokemon Stadium Fire Transformation. Marth pauses to forfeit the stock after unpaused, but the Ice Climbers continues to wobble to stop the transformation. The Ices then drops the wobble 5 seconds after the unpause. The Smart have to suicide his stock.
Pausing should count as a game loss, not as a stock loss.
Yeah, if you want to be letter of the law, that's a loss.
Letter of the law is that's a game loss, not a stock loss. So correction only. Turn pause off if you don't want that to happen. You cannot pause to suicide stocks. That is incorrect. Or else, if you guys want to know the reasoning behind it, or else if you're up 3 stocks to 1, you can just pause to mess up people's recovery. That's messed up. You can like lose a stock in order to tactically pause to mess people up, and that's messed up. Pausing is a game loss.
Who would you choose if you could pick 2 legends of Smash to go back to try hard and come back full time? I mean, would you pick Ken? Is there?
I wish I could take a young 18-year-old supple Ken and get him to try hard. I think old man Ken could actually do it, but he's just too bitter.
Yeah.
Not bad, bitter, but lazy. All that combination of like stuff. Maybe he could do it. So Ken probably, and I'd say second is Korean DJ. I think Korean DJ is a freaking genius at this game. His brain is insane. So I'm gonna give it with those 2. Also, I was gonna say Isaiah just because we've never really saw him try hard. So just to see him try hard in the first place.
And put to rest all the questions that we've had.
Yeah. What would try hard Isaiah even look like? So I'm gonna go with that.
I think the funniest moment of Isaiah was when he said that he was going to beat Chu at Vegas, given that he's never beaten Chu in a long time, and then he does.
Yeah.
How do you think Eisen will be able to do at Don't Park on the Grass? We'll talk about that when Don't Park on the Grass has a full attendance list next week.
Mm-hmm.
Can we make Beast a must-attend event? I feel like Europe should have one of those.
Yeah. I would say that. I think they're starting to have a little thing going on now between Beast, Syndicate, Air, DreamHack. They have a little thing going on, right? I'd like to see France have a big tournament as well to kind of even it out. Maybe Germany have a big tournament as well. There's a little bit more sprinkles in there, but Europe's growing, bro. It's kind of cool.
Let's see. We got some basketball fans here. Who's the second best basketball player of all time? Assuming you put MJ first. If you don't, please elaborate.
I think Kareem is.
All right, I say Kareem too.
Yep.
Okay. Damn, that was not controversial at all. We already answered the Don't Park on the Grass versus KOC 5 question. But how about this? Will there be any SoCal tournaments or major tournaments next year?
Maybe.
All right. Maybe it is. Do you guys know if we'll be seeing Fly Amanita come back this year? We miss him. I miss him too.
I miss him too, but we don't know.
I mean, you can watch him play Mario Maker, Minesweeper, Jumpman. I just don't think he has much of a drive to go to tournaments. And his sleep schedule is very odd. So, there's that.
Yeah.
Axe picks a real secondary. Thanks, Hugo, for the host. Axe picks a real secondary and switches characters next year. Yay or nay?
Nay.
Nay.
He can do it with Pikachu. It's a playstyle thing. It's literally not a character thing.
What odds would you have to be given in order to bet on PP to win Genesis if he attends?
50 to 1.
You think he has a 2% chance?
No, but I never take bets higher than 50 to 1.
Okay, so it's like
I win $1. I win $50, but I'm almost assuredly losing $1.
I think the fair and reasonable bet it's 199 to 1.
Why is that?
0.5%. Dude, it's been like a year.
Yeah. Okay. Point is, it's almost impossible.
What do you think about Swiss format as an alternative to double limb? Fleur mentions how he does. It's hard, And you have to wait until the last set finishes, so it's a bottleneck before you can move on to the next pairings.
Yep. There's setup bottlenecks, so Swiss is often used in things like chess when you have effectively infinite setups because all you need is table space. And Magic the Gathering, similarly, table space. We have setup constraints, so you have to wait until the round finishes to continue. Not only that, but it's very unhyped because the end of a Swiss bracket is like just not very hyped in comparison to double elimination grand final, like a top 8, for example. You could go Swiss to double elim, but that's really lame and often leads to weird tiebreak scenarios and like weird cutoff points and blah blah blah. In general, the super way to simplify the argument is that Swiss really sucks, and that's really all you really need to know about it. If you're aspiring TO, just stop trying to be cute. Don't run Swiss.
We've seen Drug Fox's Fox, Sheik, and Falco this year. Which is his best character? Should he counterpick for certain matchups? I mean, it appears that his Fox doesn't do really well against Falcon. I mean, that's the easiest low-hanging fruit. He should play Sheik against Falcon.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would do better as a Sheik. But he's having fun with Fox, so, I mean, let him do his thing.
Yeah. He's not bad at the Fox Ditto either. I think that's probably one of the underrated things about Drug Fox.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's getting there with his Fox. So, his Fox was good too.
What can TOs do to convince more Americans to go to Europe?
Host better events. I don't go to Beast because it's too cold. I'd go to the other stuff if I didn't feel like there were a dozen other American events, which I already don't go to, that are similar quality. Americans would go more if the European events were better, and they can get there, but they're not there. So do that.
And that's the last question.
That's it.
I'm going to refresh and see if anything comes. Yeah, that was the last question.
Oh boy, getting tired there near the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good place to stop.
Okay, sounds good. Chat, it was a pleasure. Commentator's Curse, you guys know how it goes.